All right, y'all. What's up? What's going on? What's going on? Welcome back. Welcome back to your favorite WMMA show. Hashtag CB99 Talks, episode 220. 220 back in the building, man. Been 2 weeks, right? And that's the thing. I want to jump on here, like I said, every 2 weeks now. Every 2 weeks for this show. And, then, of course, the mashup on the following Tuesday. So, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back. Of course, we didn't have much going on this past weekend, right? But yeah, this weekend's picking up. This weekend is picking up here. We got 3 fights. I think all 3 of them going to deliver. I'm not going to jinx it. I'm not going to jinx what fight ends in a finish this time. But, yeah, these are good ones. These are good fights. So, yeah, we're going to kick this thing off and just go down the list which fight starts first, because I believe this card starts at 5. Let me see. Let me double check. Let me see. UFC Fight Night. They call this card UFC Fight Night Lemos Robertson, but Lemos Robertson is a co-main event. It's actually Emmett what's the name? Vallejos? Yeah, Kevin Vallejos. Josh Emmett, Kevin Vallejos, and then you got, Amanda Lemos and Jillian Robertson as the co-main event. But, yeah, they got it listed on Google as Jillian and Lemos is the main event, which I know they're not, though. I know they're not. So, yeah. What's going on? Maria and Two Beasts, we back. We back. All right. So, yeah, going to kick this thing off. We're going to go down the list here and talk some fights and then talk about some other fight news. We're going to talk about the opener first. So this card starts at 5 p.m. Let me see. You got Pierre Rodriguez and Sam Hughes running it back. That should be an interesting fight. I meant to watch the fight again. Well, I mean, it's not too late. I mean, I can still watch it before fight night, but I meant to watch it before jumping on live, just to kind of talk about it, because I remember seeing the first fight and believing it was close, and I believe I gave it to Sam because it was a close match. The first time around was close. I think there was some close close exchanges in the second and third round, I believe. It was a good fight, though. I remember that. So I can't really complain about them doing a rematch here because it might deliver, right? You see Jocelyn Edwards and Nora Carano, that fight delivered. That fight actually turned out to be a good rematch for Edwards especially. So, yeah, I want to talk about Pierre Rodriguez and Sam Hughes. I don't know, man. Should I do a live round by round right now? Nah, I don't think so. I don't feel like doing a round by round right now. Let me see if it's on YouTube. Like, it seemed like the UFC YouTube channel would post it since they fought once, right? They would show you like the action from the first fight. Hold on, let me see. Pierre Rodriguez and Sam Hughes. No, they don't. They actually don't. The UFC didn't put the first fight up there. So, yeah, I'd have to pull it up on Fight Pass, which I don't feel like doing. So, yeah, we'll just talk about it. I want to talk about that fight, of course. Then you got Bia Mesquita, still undefeated, making her return against Masrat Rendon. And Rendon, this is a big one for her. It's a dangerous fight. It's a dangerous fight. She's got to come in here and perform. All right. And of course, those fights are on the prelims, but on the main card, it's going to be a minute. You're going to have to get through how many fights from WMMA fights? You got to get through 2, 4, 5. Chris Curtis. Let's see. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to have to watch about 9 more fights until you get to the co-main event, which, of course, I'm going to be watching. But as far as like WMMA action, like, I don't know if I'll go live for this card. Nah, I won't go live this Saturday for this card. I'm too busy. So, yeah. But, yeah, man, like I said, there wasn't too much going on this past weekend. There was really no need to, jump on and do a show. That's why I said I'm going to start doing these like every other week. The 326 card was okay. That main event, Holloway and Oliveira, was all right. That Drew Dauber and Michael Johnson was a crazy knockout, though. Shoot, that was crazy, So, yeah, it wasn't really like a lot going on, but, I just wanted to jump on here and talk about these fights coming up. I know I've been seeing a lot of the presser of, Gina Carano and Ronda Rousey, about the fight. And, mostly it ain't even really about the fight most of the time. It's just like about her taking digs at Dana White and things like that. So it's kind of like, they using Dana White's name as promotion, trying to make the UFC look bad here. I mean, which, the UFC, they could stand to pay their fighters more money in certain situations, right? So I do agree with Rondo on that, but there's just been a lot of talk that, especially on Ronda's side, Ronda's been talking this fight up. So she's doing what she's supposed to do. She's got everybody kind of riled up. I know y'all heard Valentina kind of fired back at Ronda Rousey too, right? Let me see. Where is that? Hold on. Let me pull it up. Because I saw it the other night. Shout out to Tay-Tay. I saw she had posted that up. But, yeah, Ronda Rousey, she was talking about fighters using OnlyFans, which, I know that angle that Ronda's coming from when it comes to OnlyFans, but also, OnlyFans is used as like a platform for, fighters or entertainers to interact with fans too, right? Like, it can be used for non-nude activity, right? You know what I mean? Like, content doesn't always have to be, nudes up there, right? So I know where Valentina's coming from, but I know where Ronda's coming from because, Ronda is talking about, Ronda, she's trying to put it out there that, these fighters are having to be on OnlyFans because they're not getting paid, like they're doing it not by choice, but because they need the money, I think that's where Ronda's coming from with it. Ronda's coming from that angle, like, oh yeah, these fighters, they're not getting paid, so they're forced to jump on OnlyFans, Now, if you want to get on there just to, promote yourself, like fight updates, of course, like that's what it's there for. But when you see fighters like, I know BJ, what's up? I know BJ, he was subscribed to Jessica Andrade, right? see somebody like Jessica Andrade, what she was doing, okay, like you really shouldn't have to be doing that. Meaning the UFC should be paying you more. Because, I mean, Andrade, come on, she be putting on performances, finishing people. But then again, it's how you handle your money. It's all in how you handle your money, too. So sometimes these fighters, if they know they're getting paid this much and they're not able to make ends meet with certain things, it's like there's certain things you need to be a little bit more smarter about, investing and things like that. So, but yeah, I understand where Ronda's coming from with the OnlyFans thing, like fighters being forced to do it as far as like, oh, they got to make ends meet with, but nobody's making them, nobody's making you take your clothes off. That's the first thing. Like if you saying, oh, I got to take my clothes off for money. No, ain't nobody said you had to. There's other ways to make money. So it's nobody, nobody else to blame. It's only you, But we talk a little bit more about that. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Let's jump on some of these fights. Now I got some of y'all in here. Yeah, man, I did mean to watch this fight again because I wanted to kind of be fresh on it and talk about how the first one went. Let me see if I can pull it up. Yeah, here we go. Sam and Piotr Rodriguez. Like, has anybody in here watched the first fight again? Like, I just been too busy. Like, I just have not been too busy to sit down and watch anything, really. Like, I mean, I got access to it, but my mind's just been somewhere else working and doing other stuff. So, I haven't been able to watch, this rematch, this first fight again, leading up to the rematch. BJ said, I've seen Valentina's OnlyFans. It's literally training footage and her talking into camera and dancing. Right. Yeah. And that's good. Like, Valentina's not that type of, lady that's going to jump on there and just like bust it out like that. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm glad she don't. Like, I won't be on there like that. I mean, it ain't like your other girls out there, man. Like, shoot. So yeah, Valentina, she's using it for training and promotion. That's it. Zaman said, only reason Ronda went for Shevchenko is because she has beef with her since not long ago. Yeah, Exposing Time said Ronda had no problem with fighter pay until they wouldn't make her Gina Carano fight. Yeah, I exactly. Like, I really didn't hear Ronda say much, like, until, when she shopped that Carano fight over to the UFC and they turned it down. That's when the whole tune changed. Now it's, oh, people ain't getting this, they ain't getting that, and now, oh, people got to be on, and no, the White House card sucks, like, everything started coming out. So it's like, which is it? You just salty or what? So I don't know. But yeah, Pierre Rodriguez and Sam Hughes. Yeah, I got to go back and watch the first fight when I get off of here or sometime before Saturday. I do remember the first fight being kind of scrappy and being some close moments. I can't really even remember, like, was Pierre Rodriguez, was she the one that was, like, in control of the exchanges? Like, did she have more power? Was she getting Sam's respect? Because I remember Sam was coming with volume in some situations, but it seemed like there were points where she was slowed down, like Rodriguez was hitting her with some hard shots, And, I know Sam's got good wrestling. That's why I was wondering why she didn't really focus on that in the first fight, because, that's how Jillian Robertson, she was able to submit, well, her grappling, basically, not just wrestling, but her grappling is what got Pierre Rodriguez in that compromised position. She locked Pierre Rodriguez in and, choked her out. But I know Sam, from what I remember, a lot of the fight was spent on the feet. It was pretty scrappy fight. So, this time around, though, I'm seeing a lot of changes, good changes on both sides. I see Pierre Rodriguez working with some good people now. I know she's working with Jocelyn Edwards. And I'm not sure if she was in there with Shevchenko a little bit, working on striking like a year or so ago. But one thing about Pierre Rodriguez, I've always said was I don't see anything that really stands out about her. But Pierre Rodriguez does have like some grit to her. Like she is tough. Like I watched a few of her fights before. I seen her fight on LFA, and she's got a little bit of power. She's got a little bit of power. I like how she's able to put the pressure on, throw her right hand. But I think sometimes she'll abandon it and then go into like grappling for no reason. Like I think she needs to like stick to one game plan and make a statement. So I think that she is a dangerous fighter, but there are like some areas I need to see Pierre Rodriguez just kind of make more of a growth in, to really put herself in some more situations where she's dominant. Like Fatima Klein. Like Fatima Klein, I know she's dangerous on the ground, right? That's why she knows she's dangerous on the ground. That's why she's able to spend a lot of time working on her striking. She's able to work on her striking now and get better with that because she knows if I get you to the ground, I can submit you. So just a few things like that on her side. Sam, she's been looking stronger, like her strength and conditioning, and I think that's the one thing about Sam Hughes that needs to really be her main goal is to have that strength, and that burst, because I think that's what kind of slowed her down in some fights. She was kind of a slow starter in like her first few fights in the UFC, and it was usually by like the second round and the third round where she's picking it up. But as of lately, since she's been with a new camp and, she's been kind of putting on a little bit more muscle, working on her strength and conditioning, I'm seeing her like really moving faster in there. Like she's moving, she looks a lot better. She's moving quicker and seems to have that strength. I mean, she's always had like the cardio to go 3. Like she's always had that cardio to go 3, but to be able to, not just go 3, but to perform in 3, to be able to go and perform at a high level in each round, I think that you're going to see Sam be more in that element now. Like that last fight was pretty good of hers. I think it was Stephanie Luciano. They were going to war. They were going to war at it. But I kind of want to see Sam do a little bit more where she controls the fight. I don't want to see her put on too many wars or like making fights close. I need to see her, go in here and, if she's a better wrestler, go in there out wrestle Rodriguez, get a 30-27, get a 30-27 on her, or try to knock her out. So hopefully I'm seeing, Sam's power start to translate a little bit more in there, Zama said, make prospect video on Marilla Klein. Check her out. She's dominating amateurs from now. 19 years old, 16 wins, 16 subs, no losses. Check her out. Yeah, I might have to do a short on that. That's kind of impressive. 16 finishes? Wow. All subs? Dang. Okay. I'll do that. Now, Maria, what's her name? Victoria. Maria said Victoria Wachek. Oh, yeah. I'll talk about her, too. 16. Wow. That is impressive. Okay. I have to check her out. Is any of her footage on YouTube? Like, is it on YouTube, Fight Pass? Where am I going to find it? Just so I know. Yeah, I want to check that out. Fatima, oh, not Fatima Klein. He's talking about a different Klein, BJ. I'll check her out. Let me actually put that name to the side. But yeah, I think in this fight here, like I said, I want to see Sam Hughes be a little bit more like faster in the first round. Get started fast, build up a lead, because Sam's got combinations. She's got a good straight jab. She's really good at extending that jab out when she lets it go. I remember she was doing that in that Estela Nunes fight. So it's like, go ahead and get that going. Put that in the face of Pierre Rodriguez, get her respect early and, pick up a lead in the first 2 rounds, kind of wear Rodriguez down, but don't fight too much in the clinch. Because, I think Pierre Rodriguez is tough. Like, she's a dog when she gets in them clinches, and that's where the rounds could be close. So, I think Sam overall has better footwork, when she's on the outside, and better strikes than Pierre Rodriguez, but she does have power. Pierre Rodriguez has a little bit more power. So, I think, striking from the outside benefits Sam, and wrestling down the stretch just to control the fight. Just to bag like the last round or two. If she starts to gas. Piera, I think her main goal is to make it an ugly fight. Make it a dirty fight. I think Sam's a little bit more technically sound, like I said, the stand up. But I think, this has to be the fight where Piera is gritty. Piera is gritty with the tie clinch. She's going in there throwing elbows, making a rough fight, making her one or two shots count more than, the volume. So when I look at these two styles, I think, Sam is a different fighter than she was the first time they fought, which was like 3 years ago. So she's going to come in there trying to prove something. And I think the training that she's been going through versus the training she's been going through now versus the training that she's been doing in the past, like for that first fight, I think you'll see a big difference. And I think I'm going to go with Sam in this fight. Yeah, BJ says Sam Page Clinic. Yeah, I'm going to go with Sam Hughes in this fight. I think Sam's going to get this one by decision. I think learning from her mistakes from the last fight and then picking up in the last couple rounds and, starting to turn it around. And like I said, I thought she won the first fight, but, this time got to make it more convincing, and I think she will. All right, yeah, before I move on, what's her name? I'm trying to find it. Maria Klein? It's 2 eyes? Maria Klein, MMA. Okay. 16-0. 16-0 with 16 finishes. Ooh, she's a flyweight too. Yeah, okay. Dang. Armbar, guillotine, rear naked choke, armbar. I mean, this is all like an IMMAF, which, of course we don't know the competition, but still like, dang, 16 finishes. Okay. Dang, she got some bodies on her resume. Okay. Well, I'll check her out. I still wouldn't rush her to the UFC, but you know what I mean? Like, that is impressive. That's impressive. Okay, 16 wins by finishes. Yeah, I'm going to watch a few fights, and then I'll probably give my take on her. Yeah. But, yeah, I'm going to go with Sam here. I think I'll go with Sam. Let me see. Yeah, Maria Klein. Wow, that is impressive. That is impressive. Okay, moving on here. Bia Mesquita. Bia Mesquita's back. Montserrat Rendon. Bia Mesquita is probably, and it may be because of the competition, I would say out of the 4 bantamweights that just got signed, that, we were talking about a little while ago, did a video on, Bia Mesquita, Michelle Montague, Melissa Croden, and then Alice Pieta. I think Bia's looking the sharpest right now. Well, that's just, the first fight in. Right? That's just the first fight in. I mean, things can change real quick. Things can change just like that. I'm just saying, like, off of the progress report, Bia Mesquita, she got the finish, right? She got the finish in her last fight. And I know Melissa Croden got the finish in her first fight, but then she lost that next fight. And Michelle Montague, she looked good in her debut, but she went the distance with Lana Carolina. And I know she did get rocked in that fight, so that's one thing I was just kind of looking at. Like, I see Michelle Montague being a force, but yeah, just some things that need to be worked on there. But Bia Mesquita, she came in and she destroyed Alex Sleva. I mean, she beat that girl to a pulp, And again, that's Alex Sleva, but she did come in and make a statement off that victory. And now they're giving her Rendon, who's more of a boxer, right? Who's more of a stand-up fighter, which her last fight was a victory over Alice Pieta, but it wasn't like this big wow type of victory. She just had the more experience than Pieta and kind of chased her all night, catch her with a few shots here and there, try to close in, but she kind of struggled with that, right? So when you kind of match these two up, So number one, Rendon to me never really like stood out. I know she got a victory over, like I said, Pieta. She got a victory over Tamiris Vidal. But again, I never really seen anything just like stand out. Maybe she comes in and performs in this fight. I don't know, but I see her stand-up game kind of playing into Bia Mesquita big time. Bia has been getting better with her stand-up, and she is huge. Like, she came into that Alex Leva fight huge. She's a big bantamweight. So I think that, she's durable, and if she's able to just kind of close the distance here and walk through some shots and, get an early takedown, even with her own right hand, she's able to land her own punches here. Because, Rendon, like, she wants to come forward too. So if she tries to come forward, she comes forward and meets Mia Mesquita in the middle, that's a straight takedown. That's a straight takedown for me. And I see Bia Mesquita taking this thing down and having full ground control. Like, really, this is probably the one fight I could say is going to probably end in a finish here. Like, that's my quick prediction on this one, man. I think Bia Mesquita, she is getting better on the feet. But also, these styles, like these girls right here, kind of play into the fighter that she is. A fighter that doesn't do a lot of boxing and chasing, but fighters that give up space, that are tall and long, or basically strikers. She's able to just get them down and, work them, ground and pound, or, just straight out grapple from the jump. So I'm going to go Bia Mesquita here, maybe first round finish. I'll be surprised if it goes 2. I'll be really surprised if this one goes 2. I'm going to go with Mesquita by like a first round finish here. I think this is the one fight I think will for sure end in a finish, or early finish. Let me put it that way. I'll put it that way. All right, 2B, so I honestly feel like Pieta can beat her in the stand-up and the mat. Yeah, she might. And, she might. Like, I don't know, though. I think Sam has looked better than she did in that last fight, because that first fight was close. So I'm going to go with I'll go with Sam here. Okay. So, give me 1 second. I'm going to pull this one up here. Yeah, I was kind of tempted to jump on, man, and do a little round by round, but I don't think so. Not tonight. Oh, here we go. Finally, we get this action, right? See, we got this far. Look, we got this far on the first schedule, right? Lemos and Robertson. Like, it didn't get as close as, well, it kind of did, right? It did kind of get to the point like Blanchfield Barber, didn't it? And Blanchfield Barber. Well, Blanchfield Barber, it got all the way to the point of, the main event being next, right? The main event was next, and boom, that was it, But then, when the commercial break was over, ads done running, no fight, right? No fight. But this one, it kind of got canceled. I would say it got, when was it? The same night. Yeah, sat on fight night. Like, not all the way to the point where the fight was, the fighters were walking out. Yeah. I'm just trying to remember that, trying to go back and remember it, man, because I was like, wait a minute now. That night, I was like, wait, they already did the face-off, but then it was like, oh, nope, Lemos had to pull out. So, yeah. That's why we got this picture. We did get all the way to this point, the face-off. So, finally, yeah, this is the fans' this is the fans' main event, the WMMA main event here. We got Amanda Lemos taking on Jillian Robertson. I'm ready for this fight now. Dang, time flew by. That really flew by, because that was back in December? Yeah, the first fight was scheduled like in the end of the year, end of 2025, and that just flew by, man. So yeah, I think that that rescheduling gave Jillian Robertson, I think it gave her a lot of time to kind of, prepare and kind of rework some things. At the same time, gave her more energy too. It's definitely giving her more energy to, want to dish out a whooping since that first fight got canceled. Because there's been a lot of back and forth between these two now, right? I believe there was some back and forth like past couple months ago, whenever Amanda Lemos first pulled out. So, I think that, the longer Jillian sits on it, I don't think like Jillian's going to be sitting back underestimating. But at the same time, she's not going to overtrain. I think she was coming in confident anyways. And when I look at her now at this face-off, like, Jillian looks like a big strawweight. She was a small flyweight, right? She was small flyweight. Couldn't really hang with some of those bigger ranked flyweights. But, when I look at her here kind of matched up with Lemos, like, she's not small. Like, she's fitting into 115 pounds perfectly, So I think that just that confidence in Jillian right now and the amount of finishes she's had throughout her career and now, just on this big win streak in 115. This is the closest Jillian's ever been to, like, gold, This is closest she's ever been to gold. And I got to give her a lot of respect as a fighter, like, over a lot of these I ain't going to say names, but I'm just saying, like, over some girls you've seen, like, where they've been down, but they act like they don't know what the change needs to be. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of fighters out there that just keep losing, but then they're like, I don't know why. I don't know why I'm losing, but they refuse to make a change. And me, I've been knocking Jillian striking for a minute for good reason. And I mean, it's picking up, right? Her striking's got better. Her striking's definitely gotten better. I mean, it was two things. Like, she needed to be in a better weight class, better weight division that fit her, which is straw weight, but also, work on her striking. And to me, she's really been, like, developing better now, like, more, as a fighter. So, I'm like, okay, I got to give her credit here. Is she ready for a full-on title shot yet? I don't know yet. We're going to see. Because, I mean, she beat all the other girls, in the lower mid parts of the rankings. I mean, she just lost, one close fight to Tabitha Ricci, And honestly, I think, if they fought like a rematch, I think Jillian would get that back. She just had to be a little bit smarter in that fight. But, this one here, I think she's going to be prepared for. Can't go in there underestimate Lemos' power, though. Like, you got to be tricky with it. You got to be quick and neutralize and just shut down Lemos' power, right from the jump, like what most of these other wrestlers and grapplers do. Like, if that's your game, go ahead and get this fight to the ground. Don't spend time trying to trade, like, and I don't think I really don't think that's Jillian's thing, is to try to trade with a girl. Like, she don't like to trade like that. Like, if she knows her game is on the ground, get it to the ground. So she just needs that strategy to get this fight to the ground, really. And, I think she owns it, like, everywhere here. I mean, only way I can see her messing up or losing is if she, gets reckless on the ground and, like, Lemos gets her in the guillotine real quick and, or, like, gets her in the choke, rear naked choke, because she could underestimate the BJJ of Lemos. So Lemos is going to be awake on the ground, but just in that manner, if Robertson is reckless like that. Tay, what's going on? Tay says she got pizza tonight. She didn't feel like cooking. I don't feel like cooking. Now you tempted me to get a pizza. I am cooking tomorrow, Tay. Sorry, y'all. I got to do a little Tay talk here with some food, because she bringing this food up right now. She know I'm hungry, too. I just been out running, and I'm hungry, man. So, a pizza does sound good, but I better not. I really better not, man. I'm tempted now. Oh, man. Now I'm thinking. That sounds like some good pizza, too. New York pizza. She got that New York pizza up there. Tay, you got to give me some tips. I'm going to come to New York City again. and I need the places to go. I need the places to go where to get the best food, best pizza, best soul food, best uh, Jamaican food, all of that. For real. Yeah. Damn, I'm hungry now. Anyways, all right. Let's talk about Lemos real quick. Let's talk about Lemos. All right, BJ, what does Lemos need to do here, man? Like, Lemos, y'all know I've been high on Lemos. Like, Lemos, she been disappointing me, man. Like, performance after performance. I mean, I was really for sure that she was going to open up in that Whaley fight. You know, I thought she was going to do something big, you know, turn up her striking, be a little bit more elusive. You know, okay, she's seen the Rose footage. You know what I mean? She's seen Rose footage. She knows what to do. But it's like Lemos is still believing in that power too much. Like, I think Lemos overhypes herself when it comes to that power. You know, she knocked a few people out. And it's like, I'm a knockout artist. I mean, really, you ain't a knockout artist. Look, you ain't a knockout artist. You ain't setting it up. Like, there's a lot of girls with power, but if you ain't setting these knockouts up, and they ain't coming like back to back to back, and you got these girls completely in fear, then it's really hard to say. Like, because I don't even believe she dropped Wei Li in it. I know Wei Li dropped her in that fight, but she didn't even drop Wei Li. I mean, Yan Xiaonan did. Yan Xiaonan, she dropped Wei Li like, what, 4 or 5 times? You know me, I'm keeping count. It was like 4 or 5 times. I might be off one, but it was high. It was high. But Lemos didn't get no knockdowns. Lemos didn't get any knockdowns. So, again, like, her power, I won't say it's a little overrated, but it's not really being set up right. So I can't really put her as that knockout artist anymore. Got power, but not a knockout artist. Because she ain't knocked nobody out in the top. She didn't knock Dern out. Didn't knock Andrade out. She did stop Marina Rodriguez, but it was like a referee stoppage. It wasn't really like a knockout. Like, yeah, Nunes is a KO artist. Now that girl sings like with them hands sing. Like, she's got #1 hits. I mean, her #1 hits, she's got her greatest hits. I mean, she's got Chris Cyborg, Ronda Rousey, Misha Tate, Holly Holm. You know what I mean? Like, those are greatest hits. Amanda Lemos, I mean, it was fun, right? Montserrat Ruiz, she knocked her out. BJ's girl, Livia, what's her name? Livia Souza. That's BJ's girl, yeah. Like, and that wasn't even like a knockout, so. And I'm not downplaying Lemos. I'm just saying, like, throughout these past ranked fights, like, she has not been on her game. And she better be on it in this fight, because Jillian's going to be on her. In my opinion, I think Jillian's going to be on her in this fight. Jillian's going to close that distance, get this fight to the ground. I'm sure that, with Dean Thomas and, their strategy, it's not to be standing with Lemos, but more so to, enter at angles, maybe use a few leg kicks, and, throw out some jabs, and, eventually just pull Lemos down. Because Lemos is not a fighter that is hard to take down. Suarez did it. I believe Jillian can get the pull down on her a number of times in this fight. So there could be flash knockdowns from Lemos' side, maybe, but I really don't see the momentum going in that favor here. I don't think Jillian's gonna fall for that. Jillian's kind of been on a tear right now, and she's just not on it. Yeah, Lemos definitely like I've said in the past, like, Lemos' jab would be very effective when it comes to setting power up. Like, for real. Like, you got to be masking the power punches with the jab. Imagine in this fight, this is what she needed to do in this fight, is keep a jab in Jillian's face. Not a power jab either. Not the jab coming at the same power or same speed as the right hand. It just needs to be a flicking out jab, like flick it in Jillian's face, and then eventually throw that right hand behind it. Because Jillian's of course not the greatest on her feet yet. She's definitely not the greatest on her feet yet. Like that, but she will. I think she will make some changes in this fight, some adjustments to get in there. So I'm not. I hate to say I'm not turning my back on Lemos. Okay, like I still like Lemos as a fighter. I just am not seeing these things. I'm gonna be honest. Like I just don't see her. I don't see her going in here getting this victory again, man. Like the momentum is kind of going down for her. Like it really is. Like I haven't seen any changes with the rhythm of her strikes. And I think that's going to be the downfall in this fight because it's predictable. The rhythm of her strikes is going to be predictable. Yeah, Zach. Yeah, JJ controlled Jillian with a jab, and if you have a jab, you can do that. But Lemos is just not pumping a jab out there like that. She think it's all about power. Yeah, to be said, Suarez is a great point. Jillian's striking and jiu-jitsu is better. Oh, yeah, way better. And I think that Jillian's durability on the legs might be better, too. Because there was a few. Lemos dig tag Suarez with some hard leg kicks. And I kind of saw, like, Suarez's reaction to some of them leg kicks. I think Jillian can take a leg kick or two better. But that's another thing is to kind of set a trap on Jillian's side, kind of bait Lemos into throwing those hard leg kicks. And when she throw it and she spin, Jillian can dive in and take her down, So I'm going to go with Jillian in this fight. I think Jillian might win this fight by a decision here. Decision or second round submission. That's what I'm going to say. I think that if Lemos if she's able to just stay afloat, she probably will drop a decision. But if Jillian is really turned on in this fight by like, just the momentum of the first round going her way, she could get a submission in this fight. I think she could. What about y'all? Who do y'all got? What do y'all got? Because I'm gonna say, I rewatched Weili. Those knockdowns were Yon catching Weili like while she was kicking mostly off balance. It was still a great timing though. Oh yeah. Exposing Time said Lemos has to put Jillian on the back foot and throw some volume, more volume than she normally does. Right. She's got to do that. She's got to do that. That's her problem. Like she's got to do that. Like if she does that, she could win. But there's been many fights where she kind of refuses to do that. Like the only thing that really turned her on in that Marina Rodriguez fight is when she caught Marina. Then she started trying to finish her with the flurry. BJ said, I'd say not being stingy with punches and bust Jillian up with a good jab. Right? He said, but right. We can say that, right? We can say that, but that's what it is. Oh, she did. Second round finish. Okay. I didn't even see the presser. I didn't even see the media day presser. Okay. I'll go with second round finish with her. Okay. I also say second round. 2B said, all right, picks of G-Rob, Bia, and Lafayette. All right, I'm going to go with G-Rob, Bia, and Sam Page. Zama said, check LFA this Friday, Leslie Hernandez. Oh, yeah. I saw that. I saw the face-off. I'm going to tune in. I will tune in to Leslie Hernandez and Alexandra. Okay. All right. Okay, so with that, those are the three fights we got. I think they're all going to deliver. I think we're going to get some action. That's going to make up for the lack of fights the past weekend. I saw the comment too. I think that was Zaman. Somebody commented. So the White House card is just one card. There is no prelims either, huh? So that's crazy. Okay. And I went and looked myself and I was like, okay, so yeah, the White House card has no preliminary. So there is no WMMA hope there. Man. What do y'all think about that, man? Like, I thought that would have been a good place to put Dern and Wei Lee, man. Then again, not right, because they trying to do straight American, right? They don't want no Brazilian and Chinese on that card, right? That's just how I'm thinking. I'm just saying, like, that's what it seemed like. I mean, you got some. Who you got on that card? Let me pull up the card. Like, I mean, yeah, you got Diego Lopez, Steve Garcia, of course. But I mean, and of course you got Cyril Gahn, he's French, and then you got Pieta, right, Argentine. So it's like, all right, you got some non-Americans on there. So I won't say it was because of she's Chinese. You got a Brazilian, all right. So, but that's crazy, man. That's crazy. You ain't got no WMMA fights on there. You couldn't even put one. Couldn't even put one championship fight on there. I get so what? Valentina wasn't. Or, Valentina Silva wasn't open to it. Like, Valentina's not down, to do it. Which, honestly, I don't care. Like I was saying, too, because I think it's kind of goofy to have fights going on in the White House. It's supposed to be your place to, like, just serious. That's how I see it. But I don't know. So, to me, the shorter the card, the better. I remember they were talking about putting all them championship fight ups up on the card, like 8 championship fights. I was like, man, get out of here. Y'all barely got a full fleshed out card here. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm looking right here. Jillian Robertson, Mackenzie Dern title fight next with the finish over Amanda. Okay. Let me see. I'm just pulling that up. I want to hear what she says real quick. Opposing Time said, I don't think the UFC wants Shevchenko Silva on the White House because of the risk of it being boring. Possible, yeah. I could see that. Yeah, they don't want like a technical fight up there, right? But to me, Dern Wei Lee would have been interesting. To me, Dern Wei Lee, that would have been a banger. I mean, Dern is the the eye candy. Everybody's gonna be looking at her, so it's like, they don't care what she is, Then, Wei Lee, that's the big star. So it's like, you can't really miss with putting that fight up there. All right, hold on. I'm just looking at Jillian here.
I keep on saying, obviously, me and Amanda were supposed to fight December 13th, and it didn't happen. I feel like the second time around has just been a complete blessing. And an even better camp, co-main event now. I don't think it could go better.
How bummed were you that your fight got canceled in December?
I honestly processed it a lot like a loss. I feel like without that victory after a long camp, it was rough. I usually take 2 weeks after where I'm like, can eat what I want, train what I want, and then we got right back to work because I already knew I had this date coming up and just got to get back to it.
I'm just reading some comments here.
So I just finished.
Somebody said Jillian was PFL quality at best. BJ responded. Come on.
Before the fight was supposed to, 4 hours before I was supposed to leave for the venue, and I got the call from my manager. So, yeah, it was day of, right before I was supposed to leave, so it was definitely heartbreaking.
To be said, hey, that one amateur I text you about, Russell is making her pro debut at LFA March 27th. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Pretty good at getting over things, so I try to have a good night, and then every once in a while it hits you. You're just like, oh, man. But,
yeah, LFA's been putting on some good fighters lately here. Rossellini, I'm going to check that out.
Was the new date in March just because you had to get your weight back down?
Yeah, originally they were trying to schedule it for February something, but after a long camp, I had 3 or 4 camps that were supposed to happen.
All right, I was just kind of flipping through. LFA's been putting on some good fighters lately here. Rossellini, I'm going to check that out. Yeah, so I guess, okay, yeah, she says she's ready for a title shot, right, after if she's able to finish. I mean, yeah, like at that point, right, because where is Lemos ranked? Is Lemos top 5 still? Let me see. Lemos is, number 5. And if Jillian is able to move from number 8 to number 5, that would put her in like top 5. Top 5 is title talk, right? And I mean, Mackenzie Dern, Like, let's be real. Like, Mackenzie Dern isn't like she's champion right now, but it wouldn't be like going in there with Wei Lee, because I even Dern kind of acknowledged the quality of a fight in Wei Lee, right, versus Verna and Dern fighting. So yeah. Okay, so how many fights has she won? Let me see at strawweight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if she wins this one, that'll be 6. That'll be 6 wins. 5. Yeah, 6 wins and just 1 loss. Which the Tabitha Ricci fight was almost 3 years ago. So yeah, she can't argue. I mean, you can't argue that she could be in a position to get this title shot, because let me see, you got Yan Xiaonan, who already got her title shot. Verna got her title shot, lost. Suarez got her title shot and lost. The only one next would be Zhang Wei Li. And, of course, if Zhang Wei Li wants her belt back, I think, she could be able to lock in to get the fight. Other than Zhang Wei Li, if Jillian wins this fight by a big finish, then I think she has a right to call Mackenzie Dern out. I mean, what do y'all think? I think so. I think if she wins this fight, I think she's free to call her out. I think she's free to call for the champion here. Especially, yeah, like I said, if she finishes Lemos, which is somebody that Dern lost to, I think that Jillian's ready to go then. I think she's good to go. So, yeah. All right. So, what else is going on, man? I know we got probably talk about in another video. We got JJ Aldridge and Jamie Lynn Horth. That fight is scheduled. Let me see. JJ Aldridge taking on Jamie Lynn Horth. That's April 18th for the UFC Fight Night card. Who else is on there? Oh, that's the card with Jasmine and Karine Silva. And okay, yeah, Jasmine and Karine are on the main card. Then you got Melissa Croden and Daria Zalesnikova on that card. Then you got JJ and Jamie. That's not a bad card. That's not bad fights. See, these are the type of fights that people always say something stupid about, like, oh, this is going to be a boring card. But then when they see somebody throw down, like, I bet you when Melissa Croden and Daria throw down, because they both stand-up fighters. They're both going to be in there banging. So they're going to be throwing shots. It's going to turn into like a fight of the night, and everybody going to start appreciating it for the moment. And then you got JJ and Jamie, who are both strikers, right? So that could turn into a slugfest. So it's like people are counting fight night cards out already, but it might turn into, a fight card with a bunch of finishes, Dern versus Wei Lee. Jillian, if she wins, versus Suarez, Lupi winner. Ooh, dang, man. I don't know. What do y'all think about that? Do you think Jillian has to go through Suarez, Lupi winner? If Dern has to fight Wei Lee, because I think Daria's got a good chance. Yeah, Daria, like, if Daria is on her game in this type of fight, and that's the type of fight she likes. She's not a small bantamweight either, so that might be an interesting one. Let me see. Daria lost to Eileen Perez, then she beat Melissa Mullins. That was an action fight, and she beat Montserrat Rendon. So there's a possibility here. So Croden can't be shy with her. She's got to be in there fighting. This will be Croden's 3rd fight. UFC. See, she's fighting in April. So, yeah, so far, Bia's fought once, and she's coming up for her 2nd fight. Michelle Montague, she's coming up on her 2nd fight against, who is Michelle Montague going to fight again? Let me see. Oh, Mayra Bueno Silva. She's got the bigger step up than most of them. Yeah, Michelle Montague's about to fight Mayra Bueno Silva for a ranking. So that's gonna be interesting. BJ said no because Jillian has the finishes on her streak. Paul, what's up? Paul said, will Lupi ever fight for a belt? Man, there was a time I thought she would have. Honestly, like there was a time where I was like, she has the goods. There's a high possibility she could if she's able to beat Suarez. Like she'll be in that good position. I think, where she might, like, if she loses this fight, I'll say no, Paul. But if she wins this fight, I think there's a bigger chance where Lupi could fight for a belt one day. Like if she comes in here and wins this fight dominant, yeah, I think she could. He said, I think Daria's got better hands. Croden is painfully stiff. Yeah, Daria lets her hands go a little bit more. I will say that. Croden, when she gets going, she's a good, exciting fighter, man. Like that was kind of her downfall. Like she got bullied in that last fight. She really got bullied in that last fight against Luana Santos. I didn't expect that. Like Luana looked like twice her, Croden looked like twice her size, Oh, Easy, what's going on, man? What's up? Yeah, so I just know that the fight's gonna be, somebody's gonna get bruised up. Daria, I know that much. Now if Michelle goes in here and beats Mayra Buena Silva, that gives her a ranking. So I think, she's gonna be getting pushed up there closer, So yeah. But yeah, man, shoot. I'm glad we got some fights going now. We finally got some fights going. Shoot. Let me go ahead and look at the next weekend. Like, let me see. They gotta have some more fights next weekend. Hold on one second. 326. Evelev and Murphy. Lerone Murphy. Oh, that's an early card too. It starts at 1. Okay, you got Melissa Dixon, Luana Carolina, Chanel Dyer, and Ravina Oliveira. So yeah, I do want to see Chanel Dyer and see how she performs. That's it. And that's it. You only got 2 fights there. Oh snap! Okay, Izzy. Okay, the Izzy and Joe card, Grasso and Barber. Dang, we coming close, man. I don't think I'll be able to. I don't think I'm going live for that one though, man. I'm busy for that card. But oh snap! Damn, I forgot, man. End of this month, man. End of this month, we got doggone Barber and Grasso. Not Manone and Barber. Not Manone and Grasso, but we got Grasso, Barber too. Another rematch. Cause let me see, we had Edwards, Cornell rematch. Now we got Pierre Rodriguez and Sam Hughes rematch. And now we got Grasso Barber rematch. So, yeah, okay. Who else is on this card? This is the last card of March, too, so I'm just flipping through it. Oh, you got Casey O'Neill and Gabby Fernandez. Gabriela Fernandez about to hand Casey O'Neill another loss. Then you got Alexa Thainera. Just so y'all know, Alexa Thainera is taking Bruna Brazil. That fight changed big time. It started off as a totally different fight. 2 different fighters. Now it's different. Paul said, let's go. Yeah. Let's go. Barber. Right? If Barber wins, I won't be mad. But let me ask y'all this. Paul, if Barber wins, does she get a title shot? Does she get a title shot, man? I don't know about that. I'm just saying, man. Like, no, not really, because if Natalia Silva is next for Valentina, I don't know if Barber gonna have to. She gotta wait, man. She might have to fight somebody. She might have to fight somebody named the Beast. 2 beasts of hell. Zaman said it will be similar to the first fight. I don't know if it would be different. BJ said I'm mad because Chase on lost. Not really. I knew Perez was gonna win, so it's Chase on losing is just a thing, It happens. Easy said we got to talk about Floyd being broke on the boxing channel. He getting tore up by the media. Oh yeah. I'll probably come over there and do something on the boxing channel, Easy, because yeah, I'm growing over there, man. Got 1,000 subscribers over there. Appreciate that for the boxing fans over there. So I'm going to jump on there and do a little talk about this because it's crazy. First off, Floyd is fighting Mike Tyson in an exhibition, and then he's fighting like another exhibition fight, and then he's going to fight Floyd. Then Floyd's going to fight Manny in September. So what's going on, man? Like, that high cost of living, man. Like, I couldn't live like that, man. Like, the day I made like 30 million or whatever, 10 million or 30 million, I'm done. Like, or if that, like, I'm just going to live within my means still, man. I'm not going to live just because I am look, this is how it is. Look, just because you are a millionaire doesn't mean you have to live like a millionaire. Just because you make a little bit more don't mean you need to spend a little bit more. I mean, some quality has to go up, right? Like, you need to go to the doctor a little bit more, right? Because you got insurance now, and you might need a better car, but you don't need 16 cars, because you ain't even going to drive all 16 of them cars. So it's like, come on. Use some common sense, man. Like, even the people you have in your corners, like, you don't need all these people. Just simple things, man. Like, same thing with Gina and Ronda. That's what I was going to talk about them. Like, all that money they're getting for one fight. Like, come on, man. Like, you don't need all that money for just that one fight. I mean, you're getting paid, fine, but to make it sound like, oh, yeah, like, it's going to be the greatest thing since. I'm like, you two ain't even fought in almost 20 years. So it's like, whatever. And then Floyd, Floyd coming back for another one. Like, do you not know when to stop? Like, come on, for real. Yeah, I'll take 500,000 and I'm good. I'm like, six figures in your account. Like, come on, like, you can do a lot of things with 6 figures. Do your 6 figures and invest it right, and it'll grow. Because really, like, if you don't have any debt, it's not gonna go anywhere unless you put it to stupid things like multiple cars, multiple women, like stupid things. Like, you don't need all of that. Come on. I'm just saying. Colossal said, do you think Ricci or Fatima is the biggest threat to Verna? I would say Fatima Klein is the bigger threat to Verna. Tabitha Ricci, I don't really think she's that much of a threat unless she's able to strike from a good distance and really stay out of grappling exchanges. I don't know if she has that kind of strength to deal with Verna Ricci, that is. I would go Fatima Klein. I think all around Fatima Klein is a little bit more committed. She's longer, and I think she's committed to hitting her target more than Verna too. Like, Klein is showing a little bit more guts than she's a little bit more gutsy than some of these girls. I'm not saying she's more gutsy than Ricci, but she's dedicated. Let's put it that way. I'd go with Fatima being more of a threat to take that spot from Verna. She's got the height, reach, and all the tools to me. Yeah, exposing time. Ricci's too small. That's not a knock to say Ricci's a bad fighter, but she's kind of, like Tisha Torres a little bit, where she's missing a few things, lacking some things to be able to get to the top. Easy said they were entertaining Floyd fighting Bud. Oh, Bud retired. Easy, that's why Floyd came back. You ever think about that? Like, Bud retired, and then all of a sudden Floyd comes back. Because he know if Floyd knows if he comes back around the same time Bud is there, people going to be bugging him about fighting Bud. I'm just being honest. Like, I'm not saying how that fight would go or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, that's a fight that people would want to entertained more than Manny. And you know that's why Manny came out the woodwork too. Like they waited. You know, it's a game. You know, it's a game. You know, you don't want to get hurt. You got to take the path of least resistance. Because come on, y'all. Your fighters are pushing 50. Like I'm not taking anything away from their legacies. Like they done a lot. So it's like I know you wouldn't want to go in there and fight Bud at this point of your career. Neither fighter would, right? An active Bud, no. I bet Verna is just pissed right now. Yeah, I honestly think Ricci don't deserve that fight. So hopefully Fatima can get matched up with Jan next. Yeah, that'd be a good fight. Jan and Fatima, because Fatima's getting up these rankings. That would be interesting. Ricci said Verna ain't nothing to be mad at. You can't be mad at nobody. Like you can't be Verna ain't got nobody to be mad at except yourself. You can't blame no referee. You can't blame Dern for poking you in the eyes or anything like that because none of that happened. Easy said 36-year-old Floyd would have been a chance against Bud, not 47. Nah, exactly. Like 36-year-old Floyd, I think, could beat Bud, but 47, no, not at all. Yeah, Jan, I'm not sure like when she wants to get back in there. Like, I have not heard much. Zama said Ricci's got good takedown defense and grappling though, so Verna won't be able to dominate her. Close fight. Yeah, it could be. I don't see anybody finishing each other there. I just think that Verna would still be able to outwork her and maybe even control some ground time. I really wouldn't see Verna going in there and pull off something like she did like against Lemos. Yeah, for real. But let me check this schedule. Yeah, March 28th is probably going to be the best WMMA card so far. Well, compared to the following weekend, you know, the Chanel Dyer fight, Ravina Oliveira, that's like the only other fight on there. You know, I really want to see. There's 2 women's fights on there, but this one here, March 28th, you got Grasso, Barber. Even though it's a rematch, I do want to see what happens. Casey O'Neill, Gabby Fernandez, Alexa Dainera, and Bruna Brazil. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Alexa Dainera against Bruna Brazil. Early look, and might even go with Gabby. Might even go with Gabriela Fernandez over Casey O'Neill, and maybe even Paul said, "Where is Andrade?" That's a good question. Where is Andrade? Fatima versus Denise Gomes. Oof, that's an interesting fight right there. That is an interesting fight. That could be possible because I don't think Denise Gomes got a dance partner right now. But I believe Fatima Klein is actually ranked a little bit higher. I think she is. Hold on. Yeah, Fatima Klein is 11 and Gomes is 12. Yeah, where is Andrade? I haven't heard from Andrade in a while. Maybe she's taking a break. I mean, she was fighting like almost 3-4 times a year and losing. BJ said, did you pick Santos over O'Neal? Santos? Which Santos? I'm thinking Tyler Santos. Hold on. Oh, I was thinking Tyler for a minute. I was like, wait a minute. Tyler Santos? Luana Santos. Wait, Luana Santos didn't win that fight? Hold on. Nah. I did in that fight. But I did pick who else did she fight? Jennifer Maya? Oh, you talking Zama? You talking about Alexa Dainera? Yeah, you're talking about Alexa Dainera. Exposing Time said, out of these 5, who's the best MMA? Okay, out of these 5, who's the best overall MMA grappler? Dern, Wei Lee, Suarez, Verna, and Jillian. Oh man, let me think. I am thinking. Sorry. Let me see. The best MMA grappler out of those 5. Let me think. That's a tough question. No, it ain't that tough. I'm really thinking. I want to say. I'm going to push Suarez out first because I think she's more a wrestler. She's a wrestler. I push Suarez out. Dern has numerous submissions. She's pretty good. Wei Lee's a good wrestler and starting to become a better grappler. Dern, I can't say Jillian's the best yet because she hasn't touched the strap. BJ says she's the best MMA grappler of that list. I can't say that yet because she hasn't won the belt. To say you're the best, I think you have to win that strap, with some skills like that. So I would say Verna, with Suarez, I would push Verna out because she couldn't really out-grapple Dern in that fight. I would probably have to say it's between, I'm going to say Dern and Wei Lee now. And then I'm going to have to probably say Wei Lee. Yeah. Because, I would say Jillian's on that path to being that, but I think you need to have beaten some higher level fighters first. And again, that ain't no knock to Jillian because, she is, good. She's good, but she's submitting these girls on this level. I need to see her, submit some of these girls or out-grapple a Verna, out-grapple Suarez, and then, out-grapple Dern, or at least one of them. One or two of those fighters. So, let me see. Dern or Wei Lee? Let me see. Easy E said, if G-Rob hands earlier in her career, she would have been the champ. Yeah, if she had hands. Okay, yeah. Yeah, if she had hands early in her career, for sure, she would have been that fighter, I think. And that's kind of what I've been saying, when you look at Aaron, Aaron's, got decent stand-up, she's been using better stand-up choices before, Jillian. That's why she got so high. But even as she polishes out, I could see her challenging one day for the belt when she, starts to polish up more. Oh, yeah. Okay. So Dainera Bruna Brazil is a rematch too. So we getting another rematch. So that is another rematch on the card. Okay. Colostrum said this is Dainera's chance to get back the only L on her record. Okay. Oh, okay. So that makes sense. All right. So Dainera Brazil is another rematch we getting. But it's a rematch that nobody really knows about because it happened 7 years ago. Dang, Bruna Brazil choked out Dainera too. Okay. I don't think it would happen anymore like that, but okay. Okay, she got that. Okay. So she do hold a victory over her. But times change. Y'all remember Karine Silva, what she did to Marina Moreau. So, yeah. BJ said, Jillian has the subs to back up her claim. All right, okay. A strawweight or flyweight title fight needs to be on 328. Yeah, I think at this point, 328 needs one of these fights to happen. That's what Amazing. What, 328 in a couple months. So yeah, May 9th. I need something up there, man. Like, I need like the flyweight title fight and a flyweight contender fight up there as well. Like, I need to see Valentino on that card, and then like Manon on that fighting somebody. Like, May 9th needs to be Valentino versus Natalia Silva, and then the Manon Aaron rematch. If that's the only fight y'all can give her and nobody else wants to fight Manon, it's like, yeah, that's the fight to make up there. I know getting a lot of rematches, go ahead and make that rematch. That's my card for 328. Valentina Silva. Yeah, Valentina Shevchenko versus Natalia Silva. Manon Fior and Aaron Blanchfield 2. Paul said, could this look like Jillian versus Macy? Ooh. No, I think Jillian's gotten a little bit better since then. Like, if she ate one of them punches, I mean, yeah, anything could happen, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, Paul, I meant to read that. You said you hope she leapfrog, but no. Yeah, Jillian versus Macy. I think it'll be different. Yeah, I think Thainera can get that one back though. I think Bruno Brazil like started off with them finishes and momentum, but I didn't like that last fight. Bruno Brazil's last fight against what is her name? Ketlin Souza. I didn't like that fight at all. That fight was bad. Colostrum said Aaron might have to take another beating because of Barber. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. All because of bad matchmaking. We might see this again. Hold on. I hope not, too. Like, I do want to see a competitive fight because I don't want that again. I really don't want that fight. I don't want that outcome again. I would like to see something a little different. Yeah, Gabriella, what's up? Yeah, I did. I talked about it a little while back. You know, like a couple shows ago. Yeah, Carol Ferrell popped. What was it for? I think somebody said it was for weight loss or something like that. But yeah, I heard about that. Yeah. That's why that whole fight changed, you know. It became Thainera versus Luciano, but then Luciano pulled out. Now it's Thainera Brazil, right? 50-45, man. I'm just saying, like, I don't want that this time, man. I really don't want to. Like, if the rematch has to happen, I hope it's a little bit more competitive this time, man. Like, for real. Zama said Barber Robertson beating started from the clinch, if I remember correctly. Lemos got no clinch game. Right. Yeah. Yeah, it started on the inside, I believe. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was like an elbow that kind of rocked her. Yeah. Man, yeah, I think, yeah, in May we do need that card. We do need like a card with like a good strawweight title fight or flyweight title fight. I won't even say a bantamweight title fight because we're not getting that right now. I believe Eileen Perez called out Amanda Nunes and said she wanted what did she say? She wanted a interim title fight. Amanda said, I'm not doing no title fights, like interim title fights. Thainera Stephanie would have been a good fight. You know, Stephanie Luciano kind of moved like Rose, and she kind of throws out some interesting kicks and punches. So that would have been a good fight. Yeah, she got popped, man. Carol Ferrell got popped. BJ said, that's the funny. Come on, BJ. You saw the first fight. Did the first fight not go this way? I mean, shots were connected, but was every round not lost? Look, I love Cold-Blooded Blanchfield, man. Like, I do, you know. One of my favorites. But I can't lie about them numbers, man. And she did connect. She did land some shots. She did land some shots of her own, but, not enough to win the round or change the fight around, man. So don't make me pull out the pictures, man. Easy said, if steroids were legal, do you think Valentina would use them? I don't think so. If steroids were legal, do you think Valentina would use them? No, I don't think so. But then again, it's like, if they were legal, well, let me put it this way, Easy. If they were legal, then they would just be thrown in with all other substances. You know what I'm talking about? Like, it's like, okay, well, if I can use this now to, heal my torn ACL a little faster, or, to restore, and, everything starts getting mixed up, then it's almost like everything is just in the same category now, so it's a high possibility that, what this steroid is now considered, it could be up for grabs. But I don't think so, man. Like, I don't think she would like deliberately use something to do that. Oh, B just said he was talking about that. But Paul said to put a picture up of the Aaron Rendon fight. Let me see if I got one. Oh, that was that's Miranda. Never mind. Let me see. Damn, I am getting hungry now, so I'm about to get off here in a minute, y'all. Y'all are keeping me from eating. No, I'm just playing. I haven't been on in 2 weeks doing the show, so yeah. Oh yeah, tune in, man. When we do this mashup number 30, we are gonna do GDR versus Pena, right? I think that was a plan, right? GDR versus Pena on the 30th show. I got another favorite picture now too, man. Where is it? Oh no, where is it? Dang, it was just another. It just happened. Hold on. Okay. What flyweight fight are y'all really looking forward to? Like, what flyweight fight is everybody looking forward to? It ain't even got to be a championship fight. Yeah. And Crispy, boy, that girl must hit hard. Yeah, that's it. Cook some hamburger helper. I do got some mac and cheese. I do got some frozen hamburger. Hamburger helper is good. I ain't had it in a while too. Oh yeah. I got that posted up, Gabby. Dudakova versus Austin. What's going on, Gabby? First off, what's up, Gabby? I feel like I ain't seen you in a while. Yeah, Dudakova, Austin. Yeah, I posted that up on the community page a little while ago because, I do follow Austin. And, she's over at PFL now. PFL gonna be interested, man. They got Shay. Gabby? What do you think about Shay Bowers and Shannon Clark going to PFL? Okay, you want to see Silva Manone? Easy said, I was hoping we would still be talking about Kayla getting her head sent to the moon, but no, not. Unfortunately, no. I hope Kayla's good though, man. Like, I do. I'd hate to see her career end because of a neck injury like that, man. So I was really looking forward to that fight. Yeah, this is another one of my favorites now, man. Like, this is a real mashup right here. Hold on. Yeah, that was another one right there. Macy might get in there and body Big Manon. Mike Lee said, I have not been around any news on who Dern is going to fight. No news on Dern's next opponent. I'm thinking it could be Wei Lee, but if Jillian Robertson goes in here and stops Lemos in big fashion, I mean, she could argue the title shot. But it's all in if Wei Lee wants to come back. Like, really, I haven't heard Wei Lee fully say, I'm back at 115. But her trainer said that, you know, her trainer did say the other day, or like about a month ago, that, yeah, like, Wei Lee needs to go ahead and fight Dern and get that back. What's his name? John Wood, right? He did say that Wei Lee needs to go ahead and move back down, basically, and say that's a fight that they could do. So, yeah, he really wants her to go back. Between Aldridge and Horth, early look, I'm going with Aldridge, but I'm definitely not sleeping on Horth. Like, I'm definitely not sleeping on Horth's, like, strength at flyweight. She's been looking strong. Like, Horth has been improving in her grappling defense. Like, when she out grappled Petrovic a little bit, and then she showed how strong she was and shut down Blada before she knocked her out, I was like, wow, okay. But I'm kind of leaning towards Aldridge early here, because to me, I think Aldridge is a better technical striker, but Horth is not one to sleep on with her hands either. Like, Horth is not raggedy with them hands. You know, she is, when she throws the shots, they do count. But I think Aldridge's experience might get her through that fight. Man, yeah. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what they're going to do with the bantamweight fight. Like, I hate to see them force Kayla to come back, which I doubt they could if her neck isn't up to 100%, you know? So, I don't know. Because I really did want to see a bantamweight title fight here. But I don't think they'll do Nunes Perez for interim title. I need Perez versus Pena. This is the fight we need right here. Oh, yeah. Jesla Chavez, I want to see her fight. Who was the girl I brought up the other day on Mashup Show? Who was it? Jesla Chavez and who was that girl we were talking about? Dang, I can't remember now. Like, because we were just talking about a bunch of fighters. Not Juju. We said we wanted to see Jesla Chavez be out grapples Perez. Yeah, I think so. Who was it? Jesla Chavez. I said I wanted to see her matched up against another girl that was like a slug. Oh, yeah. Regina Terran. Regina Terran. Yeah, I want to see, because that was the fight they were supposed to make on the Contender Series. Do Jesla Chavez versus Regina Terran. Would Pena even take a fight that isn't a title fight? Yeah, that's the question. I mean, if she want to hold on to that ranking, she better. Like, she ain't built for title fights anymore. I mean, she got her two-time, but she ain't built for that title fight after losing to Kayla like that. So she gonna have to get in line. Yeah, and Eunice Dubin, Jesla Chavez versus Eunice Dubin, any of those right there. All right, but on that note, y'all, I think I'm gonna jump off of here now. Gotta go grab some food. I am hungry, but yeah, good show. Before we get up off of here, just make sure y'all hit the like on your way out, and make sure y'all subscribe. Oh, hold on, got another question. Paul said, could Crispy be Ebos? She could, but Ebos has still got a ground game, and I believe, if Ebos is able to get by the power and get the fight to the ground, Ebos could still win. Like, I think that would still be a big test for Crispy, but Crispy would have to be Crispy. She would have to make sure that she's standing that fight, because Ebos, Ebos can throw punches. Ebos has good, decent striking, but if Ebos take a big shot, man. All right, BJ, catch you on the next one, man. On next live you be on. Easy said Perez got to talk mad junk for Nunes to come back for the fight. She got to get super personal. I know, right? The only way she could be even somewhat personal was bringing up the trainer. She was like, I got Nunes' trainer now, so now, I'm going to get her belt or something like that. That was the most Perez could say, right? Because I believe Perez has her trainer, so that's funny. Maria Klein. Yeah, Zaman, I'm going to do that. I'm going to try to check her out, all right? But yeah, on that note, y'all, I will see y'all next week on the Mashup Tuesday. But this show, of course, be back in 2 weeks or in a week if something crazy is going down, right? But yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat. Appreciate some of y'all coming through. Ain't seen some of y'all in a minute. So yeah, I'm out later.